Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Paris Set Me Free show from Sab here in Paris. I'm looking like this today. How are you? Drinking out of this. It's kind of a positive mug, isn't it? And I'll tell you why it's positive, because I'm very positive about this. I'm starting the new show again, and a couple of other cool things. So let's get into some talk about Paris. I don't normally have anything absolutely specific to talk about. I go through my latest Paris events and stuff, but I've been here for 30 years, so I do tend to find something to say. So I've got 2 or 3 things to say today. The first is I'm getting the group going, the Paris group going, which looks like this. Okay, it says Paris Masterclass. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. This is an open Facebook group. You might be watching that in this group. And I am starting to throw a load of interesting Paris content into this now, every week, and hopefully every day. So, I'm just going to show you a bit of this. So there's my photographs. I publish a Paris photograph every day with a text. So I throw some of my photographs in there. Some old historical photographs from Paris as well that I'm sneaking off the internet. I'm going to throw those in there. Do you recognize this old lady? My muse, my creative muse. One of my favorite pictures, that the Eiffel Tower being constructed. I can't imagine what it would have been like. I don't know how I would have felt if I'd lived in Paris from before the Eiffel Tower was there until after. What on earth would you have thought of this structure? Of course, now we're born with it. Various interesting little photographs from Paris with the history that goes with them. That's advertising this show, which I hope will be every week. Every week, me talking about Paris. And there's quizzes. So this quiz is called Where's Sab? I call it the Eiffel Winks quiz. And I show you a picture. And on that picture, there is something in Paris. And the quiz is very simple. Do you know where it is? So it's for kind of Paris connoisseurs. You can impress your friends if you know where it is. And if not, guess, no one's going to laugh. And so it goes on. So that's one thing I'm going to show you. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Do you know what this is? This is something very special indeed that I saw last weekend. And I'm going to spend a bit of time telling you about that. Let me tell you also what else I'm going to tell you about. I'm going to go through some of my photographs from the last chapter of Paris photographs. Going to talk a bit about those. Can you see the theme? It's supposed to be, it's not a real theme. It's a kind of just something that is in every photograph. You can probably see that. And finally, or maybe from time to time, I'm going to show you my Paris Masterclass. So this Paris Masterclass is starting officially in January. That sounds like it's a long way away, which it is, but I'm starting it now in terms of providing content for people who book on it now. So very, very quickly, like 30 seconds, and I'll talk about it more later. So it's going to run all next year. In fact, it's like 3 masterclasses. You can book on 1 masterclass, which covers 1/3 of Paris. You can book on 2/3 of it, 2 masterclasses, which cover 2/3 of Paris, or you can buy the whole lot. You can invest in the whole lot, which will go throughout the year in 2024 and cover all of Paris. And the deal is, this is actually a pre-launch deal. There will be a launch deal, which won't be as good as this, and then there will be the final price. So this one, it's just a huge amount of Paris content throughout next year for €97. And as soon as the pre-launch period stops, it'll be €97 for 1 masterclass, not the 3. And one masterclass lasts for about 11 weeks with wonderful Paris content that you won't get anywhere else from me in that. All right, let's go back and okay, I will tell you about this. This is what I did last weekend. Let me show you something else here. Do you know what this is? Well, this is a train ticket, a Paris train ticket. You might not think that's very remarkable, but these sort of tickets are on the way out. Everything's going electronic. And so there's that. But this is actually a special one. It says that. Now, I don't know if you know what that means, but there's a picture of some sort of train and there's a date there, 16th of March. That's in British and French things. Otherwise, it would be the 4th of the 16th month for the Americans, 1983. And if you do the calculation, you do the math, that was 40 years ago. What happened 40 years ago? Or what stopped happening 40 years ago? So this is it. Check this out. I was in bed on Sunday morning, and what should happen? But I decided to start scrolling on my phone. Maybe not a good idea, but I did it, and I saw a message, and it said, "Go to this place only today, and you will see something that has been out of circulation for 40 years." And as it happens, this is something I have been desperate to see for many, many years. Can you guess what it is? If you're watching on the replay, then you can guess. You can say hello. And obviously, this is the first time I'm doing this show for many months, since last year. So people don't know I'm here. I'm assuming I am live. I'm aiming for this to be about half an hour, by the way. If you're watching on the replay, you can have a look and see if I succeeded or not. So this is one shot. Where am I? This is another shot. Where am I? And here is the final shot. And this might tell you. Okay, I won't tell you where I am, but it'll tell you maybe what I'm behind. It might tell you what this is on the ticket. And it's an old metro. It's a very old metro. It stopped circulating in Paris 40 years ago. That's why they were showing it. And it is absolutely beautiful. It's called Sprague-Thompson, maybe in French or German, Sprague-Thompson. And it's just such a beautiful train. And I've got a few photographs for you. This is a true, pure, thoroughbred Paris curiosity of the type I love. It's just so cool. It's got tubes everywhere. One's red, one's green. Right, let me show you a few more of these. Okay, so hang on, let me see where I am. That's a picture of me holding the ticket. And let's look at this one. So there you can see the full train. And as you can see, it's in a station. They pulled it out of the secret place where they keep it and pulled it with these old strange engine things onto the track, onto a platform of a normal station. And this is a normal train. And this is the train I came in on, not this actual one. But and there it was, just sitting there. So you come out, went over onto the other platform and had a look at it. Now you can see it's got a green carriage. There are red carriages, I think, and this one is half red and half green. Do you know why? Answers on a postcard, answers in the chat. Why? What is the difference between red and green? And the difference is there's a 1. Can you see the 1 on that red bit there? That's first class. I asked some of my students what it was. I had various things from women separated from men, smokers separated from non-smokers, blacks separated from whites. What? But it wasn't any of those. It was very simply first class and second class. The red is the first class and the green is the second class. What's the difference, you might wonder? Well, can you guess? What do you think the difference would be? Well, one difference is it's more expensive. The price is more expensive, but obviously that's for a reason. What do you get? Well, to be honest, I couldn't see much difference except for one thing, and that was for your backside. I'm just going to try and, I haven't put this photograph up, but I'm just looking for a specific photograph that will show you what it would be like to be in I hope you can see this. What it would be like to be in, which class do you think this is? You see that? Which class, first or second? And the answer is second. because they're hard benches. They're rather beautiful benches, but they're hard benches. And in first class, the red carriage, you get cushions for your backside. And let's have a look at what other photographs I've got here. This is the front of the train, and you can see that it's the one that is in the ticket there. You can see that, and more or less, and it's beautiful. You know, it's just like it's almost in the same style as the Eiffel Tower, like rivets everywhere and chunky bits of metal. Really good. Can you see this thing here on the left in the middle? Do you know what it is? It's a whistle, and of course the guy doesn't stick his head out to blow it, so there's a kind of an air tube which he probably pulls something, and then the air goes through the whistle, and it's the whistle. You've got the name plaque here of where it's going. In Paris, the trains, it took a while for me to get used to this 30 years ago. The trains, because in London, hang on, let me get this right. In London, the name of the lines have names, like Piccadilly line, Waterloo line, is that one? Central line, District line. Here they have numbers, so you have to know what number line you need, and they show the destination, they show where they're going. Whereas in Britain, in London, they say northbound, southbound, eastbound, westbound. In Paris, they give the destination of the train, which isn't stupid, you know, it's pretty cool, but if you're not used to it, you have to get used to it. So normally it's electronic these days, I think. And here it's just a board. You have to pull the board up, you know, to show where you're going. And what else have I got here? Look at this. In the top half of this photograph, it's what you see at the top over the doors inside the carriage. And these days it's beautifully crystal clear, you know, color-coded and everything. To be honest, here it's just a mess. Look at it. I mean, it's a wonderful mess. I love it. And it's got the line in black going along the bottom. You've got these diagonal big station names. Okay, they're big. You can see them. And you've got the stations in red are where another line goes through. And then they've got the destination of those lines. Every line that goes through, they've got the two destinations, which is actually really good. I think it's better than what we have these days, but it just makes it for a beautiful, glorious mess. And there's a wonderful, this is going to be a Paris question, you know, a quiz, Paris quiz, but I'll give it to you now. There's something very strange about one of these stations, and it's on the black line. It's not one of the things at the top or the bottom. On the black line, one of these stations is kind of strange. Do you know why? Feel free to tap in the chat, but I'm going to tell you. They say that it goes 𝘨𝗏 République. I'm just wondering if that's right, actually. I'm just going to check on my little phone app here to see if even that's right. Because, you know, stations have come and gone. Okay. Well, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's right? 𝘨𝗏? It doesn't strike me as being right. 𝘨𝗏 and then République. Okay, my phone thing isn't doing that. So let me tell you what it is. République, Saint-Martin, Strasbourg-Saint-Denis. Beep. There ain't no Saint-Martin. It's a ghost station now. You can get into it in certain circumstances. I have been in it. But it doesn't exist. It was deemed too close to République, or, you know, not enough distance between République and Strasbourg-Saint-Denis, so they closed it. But they use it for certain things these days, which I'll tell you about some other time. So that's a beautiful quiz question, isn't it? Someone's watching. Oh my God! Dorothy. Dorothy doesn't know. Hi, Dorothy. Well, there you go. Welcome, Dorothy. And this is a new show. I'm back on my Paris theme again. All right. So I think, oh no, this, I have to show you this. This is stunning. There's two things which are very interesting here. One is the sign and one is the light. The first thing, if you read French, you'll know that it says, so it says défense de fumer et de cracher. So can you imagine? They had to write in the train, it is forbidden to smoke and to spit. You know, Can you imagine people just sort of standing in the train and spitting on the ground or spitting on other people's shoes? Nice. So that is a superbly old sign on the thing. The sort of thing I love. And the light has its own story. Beautiful big light bulbs, and these trains were created not too long after they invented electricity, or a few years. The Parisians were very fond of them because, well, you know, hey, it's just sitting there in the pocket. Great, free light bulb for my home. So they created a special type of light bulb that was bigger than any other household light fitting. So the Parisians could not steal these and put them into their own things at home, which is kind of clever, I guess. All right, so there's that. Just wondering if there's anything else I need to tell you about that. And Paris set me free. Did I put something in here? Oh no, I think I put it here. Yeah. I had a couple more photographs, I think, that you haven't seen. Yeah, this one here. There's a beautiful view with a guard. He had his hat on, all dressed up. And there's an association. If you want to be a real nerd, and I'm thinking about it. If you want to be a real nerd, you can join the association. It's called 𝘚𝘢𝘣 𝗣𝗏, and you can see that this is actually on the front cover. This is the train I was on. I'm not sure if they all have numbers. Number 5, but I didn't see the number. But you can see that is exactly the train that is on. And you can join the association and you can look after the old trains, which I think is great. I would do it if I had time. My son might do it. This is a picture of the train. And I'm not sure if it's a very old picture or not. I think it might be, with the Eiffel Tower behind. And behind the poster is the real train. How cool is that? Dorothy says, in Sweden, we have SNUS, snus, that people are sitting all over, at least used to spitting, spit, is that right? Snus that spitting. Is it like a spittoon? It's like a place you spit. It's just, okay. It sounds like in old cowboy films, you know, where there was a spittoon. A spittoon was a pot in the corner and you spat in the pot. I think it's if you smoked and you had to get rid of the whatever was in your mouth. And that's it. So that was my exciting weekend. Let me move back to this. I'm just going to go through a few of my recent photographs of Paris, and then I will tell you a bit about the masterclass, and that'll be it. So this is my latest chapter. You can see in the top left and the bottom right, you can see top left, you can see a very tall statue. It's literally the size of the building. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my website for these photos so you can blow it up. This is great. I was just wandering around Paris one day. What did I see? Actually, I can make this bigger. There we go. What did I see? But this thing, the size of a building. It's a famous building. This is another quiz. Where's Sab? Do you know what this is? If you look in the top right, you can see a clue, because on this beautiful old building, there's a V and a L intertwined. Do you know what that means? And I'm just going to have a look at. Okay, snus is some kind of tobacco. Put the over lip. Okay, so you put it in your mouth and it just sits there. Right. Yeah. Maybe it gives people black teeth. And you probably have to spit it out at some point. Thanks for that. So this is Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton. They make handbags and stuff. And you see on the left there, this statue does have a handbag. And the statue is, I think it's probably temporary. So, you know, when you see it, go for it. Get the shot. This is what I love about Paris. I'm just wandering around. It's a normal building. Normally it's not covered in spots. And then I'm just walking along. It's by next to the Seine. Behind it is La Samaritaine. And suddenly, what is that huge statue? This is a Japanese designer, 𝘚𝘢𝘣𝗴 𝗣𝗚 𝗦, I don't know what she's called. And she's very famous. She's also famous as well for this sort of red hair. And what's the name of that style where it's here and then here? And she's 93 now and 94, still going strong, but she's a little bit crazy. She's had mental problems, but she's one of the most famous female artists in the world. And she's famous for dots, for spots. So there she is. She's got a spotty dress and she's putting spots on the Louis Vuitton building because she does a fashion collaboration with them. And in the bottom right, you have this, which is grungified, sabified, but you can see the red blobs, the green, the yellow, the blue, and people are looking up at this thing. Well, they're looking up at that big statue. And this guy here is probably taking pictures of the Louis Vuitton building with all those dots on it. Marvelous. This one, do you know where this is? This is a building which I have been past so many times and I've never gone in. At least I have a feeling maybe I went in once in my 20 or 30 years, you know. But entrée libre means it's free. Just go in and have a look around. And it's called the Collège des Bernardins. It used to have monks living in there, like 800 years ago. It looks like a church. It was actually kind of a monastery, and monks lived there, but it's called Collège des Bernardins. So it was for monks who were studying at the Paris Sorbonne University. It was kind of strange. You go inside and there's beautiful big arches, and I will show you pictures of those another time. What else is interesting? I'm just going to focus purely on Paris stuff in this show. So this is, can you guess what this is? You should, if you've been watching from the beginning. It's the bottom of that train, which is called a Sprague Thompson. You can see these rivets. It's very reminiscent of the Eiffel Tower itself, isn't it? Very typical. And you might think, yeah, but the Eiffel Tower was built in when? 1889? Why was the Eiffel Tower inaugurated in 1899, by the way? Answers on a postcard. And so you might think, yeah, but this train, it was running until 40 years ago. Yeah, but it was built at the beginning of the century, the beginning of the 20th century, so 1907 or 1903 or something. So it was very much built in using the sort of technology of the times of the Eiffel Tower. And it's made of metal. There was a terrible disaster at Couronne station, a fire, and about 83 people died because the trains were made of wood. So they said, okay, maybe wooden trains in tunnels aren't such a good idea, probably with people smoking and stuff. So they made this one, and it was the first metal train, all metal train. All right. It looks so old-fashioned and sort of steampunky. Almost imagine someone walking ahead of the train with a light to light the way. And two more metro things. There's this one, which is absolutely gorgeous. So for my Paris masterclass, I'm just going to tell you quickly. If you go down here, this page is in progress. I've put live. You can see it being constructed. So it's absolutely not ready. But one of the bonuses is you get my top 10s. And these top 10s are my top 10 favorite things in certain categories. And you can see one of them is mad metro signs. You can see that there, metro signs. And the metro signs in Paris are so beautiful. So here's an example of one of them. There's a lot of different styles. You might think there's one or two iconic Paris metro signs, and there are. But there are also a bunch of unique ones. Dorothy's saying, I've probably taken this train. Well, it's possible. I mean, I'm not yet 60, So theoretically, if I visited Paris when I was 20 or 17, I could have taken this. But I wasn't, so I didn't. So there's a bunch of these which are just amazing. This one is really unique. I think there's only one, possibly two, in Paris. It's in a kind of Art Nouveau style. The letters aren't so Art Nouveau, because Art Nouveau, doesn't like straight lines. Art Nouveau is curves, sinuous plants and bodies and things. But as you can see, it's got a vegetation theme. So it's got these leaves curving up around it, and it's curved itself. The sign is curved, even if the letters aren't. And these are called ginkgo leaves. I don't know how you pronounce it. Ginkgo, gikno. And these are Japanese leaves from a plant called the ginkgo tree. And there's a few of these trees in Paris, actually, if you know where to find them. A few of the parks have them. It's a very old species, apparently, very strange leaves. And the Art Nouveau artists love them. You often see this motif. If you look at an Art Nouveau picture, have a look for these leaves. You might find them. That's one. And as it happens, in the top right, I have another of these gorgeous, unique Paris metro signs. There's only about 2, possibly 3 or 4 of this style in Paris. And it's in very good condition if you look at it. Got the little castle thing on top, and it's got curves, it's got lines, you see. So it's pretty Art Nouveau. And yeah, so it's gorgeous. There you go. Let me go back to the, where are we? I'll go back here. This is a Paris Set Me Free group. So I'm planning on doing a live for Paris, just like this, talking about Paris, anything and everything that comes to my mind, every week. And when I start the masterclass, I will also do something specifically for the masterclass. Now you can join now, and you pay 1/3 of the normal price, and there will be new material each week for you guys, those who have joined that, which is not the same as this. This is free, so obviously you can access this at any time. So I love these postcards. There's a bunch of these postcards. Sometimes you see 3 or 4 versions of the Eiffel Tower. In this case, they've managed to get, 12 different stages of the Eiffel Tower, all taken from the same position. It's wonderful. I could definitely have this on my wall. What else have I found to show you? This is a recent photograph. You might think, what is this about? Well, a beautiful lady and a beautiful carriage and a beautiful horse. What more do you want? This is actually, if you look at this lady, where do you think she comes from? What do you think her nationality is? Well, I can almost certainly tell you, because I saw her waiting outside something called the Russian Spiritual and Cultural Center. It's a slightly strange and rather sinister building. It's a church with amazing domes. It's also a school and whatever else it is. And there was a bit of it took a while for them to get it built. This was way before the conflict in Ukraine. But there were a lot of worries that Russia was possibly, setting up a nice little spying station in central Paris. Anyway, that's another story for another day. So she was waiting to pick up her kid. And I mean, she could be a French lady who has married a Russian guy. Or she might be a French lady who wants her kid to learn Russian. I don't know. But if you look at her, I'm thinking Russian lady, And she was just waiting to cross the road, and she was holding on to her kid. But I zoomed in because I didn't want the modern cars. I wanted her expression. I love the way her hair is blowing there, and she's got a lovely expression. And there's a horse. You're in the middle of Paris. There goes a horse and carriage. The way they do. So that's pretty cool. That's a good one. By the way, did you get the theme? Did you catch the theme of my chapter here. The theme is red, people. Yes, I tried to put a little bit of red in each photograph. I started with 3 reds and I thought, I'm going to try and put a bit of red in every single photograph. So I managed. I've got another theme coming up and it's going to be people in red. So 9 pictures. As soon as I've got 9 pictures of 9 people wearing red, that's going to be another chapter. I told you about this. And for all of my photographs, there is, of course, a text that goes with it. Sometimes it's about the photograph and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's my rambles. And that's that. And there's that metro. So, you know, I normally include a bit of a story to go with those. That's me talking about the Sprague. And here, okay, another couple of photographs that you haven't seen. This is kind of funny. So I was inside this train that I told you about, and they had the old original adverts. And it seems to me they were doing a anti-drinking campaign, because there were about 3 or 4 of these panels. And it says here, this is the prescription or the advice of the Academy of Medicine. Pas d'apéritif ni de digestif de manière habituelle, which means don't get into a regular habit of drinking aperitifs, and digestif is like alcoholic drink after the meal. Alcohol before the drink, alcohol after the drink. And the sign is santé sobriété. So don't drink too much and be healthy. Okay, I thought that was quite funny in itself. You've got the old, this is an old symbol of doctors from many, many years ago with the little snake there. Anyway, on the other side, if I turned my head slightly to the left, I would see another poster. And this poster is this one. Let's see if it's this one. No, it's this one. No, oh my God, where's it gone? Hang on. Have I lost it? There we go. That took a while, didn't it? Let's see if the next one is this. Yeah, so there's this one. Don't drink regularly. On the other side of the carriage is an advert for wine. And what is their slogan? Our daily wine. So, you know, drink every day, folks. It's not a problem. Don't look at that other poster. Drink every day. You'll be fine. Primoire, our daily wine. So there you go. That was kind of funny. The thing you got to look out for. Okay, here we go. And there are some other photos, not my photographs. Those are their publicity. This is a new thing I'm starting, and it's me taking some sort of famous photograph or famous people from Paris and, you know, saying something about them, discovering them. Let's discover a bit of Paris culture together. Who are these people? Do you know? And you can't see it there. Who are these people? Could be another quiz question. This is Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir. Jean-Paul Sartre, Simone de Beauvoir. Is that right? I hope I'm getting that right. Yeah, there you go, Jean-Paul Sartre. And he spent most of his life with this lady. I'm just checking, yeah, Simone de Beauvoir. So they were both famous philosophers. Jean-Paul Sartre, he was into philosophy. He wrote plays and stuff like that. Known extremely well for existentialism, apart from anything else, which I think, I'm trying to get people to explain it to me. It's something like you can determine your life. You do have free will, something like that. He also was famous for saying hell is other people, which is fair enough. I don't know if he thinks hell is the lady he spent his life with. And Simone de Beauvoir, who was also very famous, a famous existentialist and feminist. So there you go, a little black and white photograph there. So in this group, anything and everything to do with Paris, as long as it interests me. And I will finish by telling you, no, I'll show you this as well. I did a thing recently where I gave you bits of a sentence and I asked you to guess the last word. And some of you, including Dorothy, who's here, had a go and tried very hard to get it. And finally, I think it was Kristen got it in the end. And this was what it was. This is this is the day Lady Eiffel smiles at last. And I decided to do all Lady Eiffel shots on this. And it was a challenge, actually. I said, you're here at the Eiffel Tower, walk around, give yourself 1 hour, try to get 9 shots, which are all completely different with Lady Eiffel in. And I got what you can see here. You might find that this one here on the right is kind of strange. What is going on here? And I think if I go back a chapter, no, forward a chapter, I can show you that in detail. This is very strange. And this is what I love. You're wandering around, you don't know what to expect, and suddenly you see, well, 2 Eiffel Towers. No, I haven't been drinking. No, it wasn't a special effect. I took a photograph of what I saw. There really were 2 Eiffel Towers on the 𝘨𝘉. Sorry, on the Champ de Mars. Why? Well, someone created a smaller version, 10th of the scale, 10th of the size. So the Eiffel Tower, how tall is the Eiffel Tower? That would be another quiz question, wouldn't it? 330 meters. This one's about 32 meters high. So it looks about the same size, but I'm very close to it. And it was visiting. It was a guest star on the Champ de Mars. Normally it does a tour around various places, to sort of put the Eiffel Tower in other towns, a 10th of the size. And it was so cool. And you went near it and you could hear a baby crying. And I thought, people were even looking around, oh my God, is someone going to help that baby? But in fact, it was a recording of a baby. It was the small Eiffel Tower. It was the baby Eiffel Tower who was crying. And at some point you heard a voice saying, "Oh, it's all right, my love, you'll be okay," which was the big Eiffel Tower comforting her baby. So there was a plaque which said, Lady Eiffel Tower has had a baby, has had a daughter, and she's called Eiffela. So this is Eiffela. So that's an example of just crazy. This is a good quiz question. The quiz question would be just showing you the tower on the right, the chimney on the right, without the Eiffel Tower, and asking people where it is. And most people don't know that it's right next to the Eiffel Tower. That's a real Paris secret. Obviously, it's a lot smaller than the Eiffel Tower, but it's still a chimney, going up in the air. And it's kind of hidden in trees in a little park next to a lake, next to the Eiffel Tower. And people, obviously, when people go to see the Eiffel Tower, they're looking at the Eiffel Tower. They're not looking at anything else. And there's this wonderful chimney. Do you know why there's a chimney there? Another interesting question. It's to do with the construction of the Eiffel Tower. I think they needed to evacuate. You can imagine the foundations of the Eiffel Tower were ridiculously huge, so that it didn't fall over or sink or something. And in order to build or evacuate those foundations and create all the things that needed to be created to support the Eiffel Tower, they needed a lot of machinery. And that machinery created fumes and stuff. So they evacuated the fumes, I believe, through this chimney, and they left the chimney. So that's a massive Paris curiosity for you. This one is me underneath the Eiffel Tower. You couldn't get right underneath the Eiffel Tower for many, many months, maybe years. And I'm so happy that you can get there now, and you don't have to pay. You have to pay to go up, of course, but they did a ton of work. And finally, you have to now go through a barrier, check your bags and stuff to get here. But you can get directly under the Eiffel Tower now for free, which is really cool, because that's a photograph, isn't it? All right, I won't carry on too much with that. I'm just going to finish by saying this is coming. This is my Paris. This has been 30 years in my. I'll just go straight here. It's available now. It's starting now, but the real masterclass doesn't start until January, and it'll be throughout 2024. But if you join now, not only do you get it for far less of a cost, but you get a bunch of exclusive material from now every week until January. So, you know, if you're interested in Paris, if you're fanatical about Paris and you would like to do the masterclass, there's no reason why you shouldn't join now, because you get everything for far less, and you get a bunch of exclusive material right now and every week, which you won't see in this group, in the normal open Paris group. So there you go. That's it. If you look at this is a 𝘨𝑟𝑖𝑠𝑠𝑒𝑡𝑚𝑒 free.com/master, and it's not ready. This page is in the making, and I tell you that, so you can watch me build it. I've only got a couple of sections. This is an intro to what you get in the masterclass. This is some of the stuff that will be covered in Masterclass 1, which is the first 4 months, well, 3 months, 3.5 months of the year. Then the second third of the year, we look at, I've split Paris into the districts, les arrondissements, plus other stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each arrondissement. Paris is divided into, I had a map, but I'll do a proper introduction to this later. Paris is divided into districts, and they're shaped like a snail. They go round like this from the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I'll just bring this out. Of course, I should have had a map, but it goes round like this as a snail, getting bigger and bigger from the first in the middle to the 20th. So I've divided the 3 masterclasses. Each masterclass is about 11 weeks, and I've divided them into the arrondissement. So like the first masterclass will cover districts 1 to 7, the next one 8 to 14, and the last one, which will take us up to from September to December, will be districts 15 to 20. For every arrondissement, you can divide it into 4. So for each of those 4 sections, in each arrondissement, in each district, I will give you something architectural, a historical thing, a curiosity, and probably some sort of anecdote for each of those sections of each arrondissement. Not only that, but there's a lot of aspects of Paris which don't fit in one arrondissement or one part of an arrondissement, such as the Seine. the river goes through all of Paris. The canal, the bridges, you know, which districts would you put the bridges in? That would be kind of complicated. So there will be supplementary sections on things like that, on the parks, on sculptures, on cemeteries. I can cover them a tiny bit in the actual sections on the districts, but I'm going to do sections all about the cemeteries, all about the bridges, all about the canal, you know, forgetting the arrondissement that it goes through. So that is the plan, and you can watch it. Oh, and another cool thing is my top 10s. So I've got a ton of subjects which interest me, which you can see here. You can't see very well, but I will take a theme. It might be reminders of the wars, like bullet holes in buildings and statues. It might be architectural styles. Paris has incredible architecture, all sorts of different styles. It might be, as I mentioned earlier, amazingly beautiful metro signs. I've got a top 10, my top 10 favorite metro signs. They're all different. They're all wonderful. Bridges, my top 10 bridges, stuff like that. So that's a bit of fun. And also my fun facts list. I'm going to take a topic and I'm going to give you a bunch of fun facts. Could be about the royalty, you know, the kings, the queens. Could be about the emperor, Napoleon. There was a Napoleon I and there was a Napoleon III. So that's already 2 lists, isn't it? Even stuff like, you know, cinema, films that have been made in Paris. Transport, huge subject. Under Paris. Paris is like a Swiss cheese. It is absolutely full of holes and tunnels for many, many different reasons. So much to share with you. And that is, and there's one more section here. It says the class is absolutely right for you if, and there's a bunch of things to see to let you know if you think it's for you. And also, you know, you don't want to do it if it's not right for you. So you can check out those so that you don't do something which you don't want to do. So there it is, folks. Thanks for watching. I am going to promote this from now onwards. You can join now and you will get new material every week, which is not in the open Paris Set Me Free group. And it's my life's work. And if you get it now, this is pre-launch offer. Even in the launch offer, it won't be as good as this. Okay, so this is the best. This is the best you get. Normally, there are 3 masterclasses throughout the year, 3 different ones. Normally, each masterclass will be €97. This one, if you go for it now, not only will you get all the material I produce between now and January, but you will get the 3 masterclasses for the price of 1. Okay, otherwise it'll be €97 per masterclass. There it is, folks. I will stop there. 45 minutes. That's not bad. 45 minutes of chat about Paris. I could talk forever about Paris. So thanks for watching. I'm happy to be doing these again. If you want to take part, join the group. Join Paris Set Me Free on Facebook. It's there it is, facebook.com/groups/Paris Set Me Free. And you're welcome. That's free. So Paris Set Me Free, and it's free. And I put a ton of stuff there as well. So can't wait to hear from you. If you're watching the replay, say hello. Please say hello and leave a comment. That would be wonderful. And feel free to join the masterclass too in the pre-launch offer phase. That's it for now, folks. Take care and happy Parising. Bye for now.